Welcome to our chat editor lunch and learn. Today we are talking about the chat editor software to support TouchChat users. My name is Reiko and I am one of the AAC SLPs for the North Vancouver School District. This is me, like I said, Reiko. I'm on Instagram. So if you're a person that likes quick TouchChat tips through Instagram, you can follow me at Reiko AAC SLP. If you are more of a YouTube person, our longer format videos do go on YouTube, but our quick tips and stuff also go on YouTube. And I do try to keep up with the playlists. So all the TouchChat stuff is together. All the grid stuff is together and so on. We also have a blog. And so we don't do a lot of writing on that blog, but what we do is post resources. There's like a special page for our events. So you can look that up. We'll let you know if we're running anything on Pro D Days, for example. And then we also have a tab for troubleshooting. So if you have an iPad talker in your school and things are going awry, you can always look things up on the troubleshooting page. And there's a lot of solutions for a lot of the common problems out there. That is where that QR code takes you if you want to take a second and QR code that for yourself and bookmark it on your phone. Like I said, we are on Instagram on the left, YouTube on the right. I have this arrow going to the OneDrive playlist, and that is for me to remind you to make sure you back up your talkers. I sort of feel like at this point, like it's like travel insurance. If you go on a trip without travel insurance, you're gonna need it. Like you're gonna wish you had travel insurance. Like you're gonna get hurt or something's gonna go missing. But if you get travel insurance, that's when nothing happens. So my new theory about backing up is this: if you back up the talker, nothing will happen to it. If you don't back up the talker, then something happens to it. It'll break. Somebody will accidentally fall on it. Sometimes the software just dies for some reason. So make sure you're backing up your talkers. I had another one go down and they had not backed up their talker. That was in January. And we're doing our best with our loaner program so that if it does break, then we are providing a loaner this year. It's something new for us. But it's not seamless, right? Like there's still things that need to happen to make sure that it's set up and stuff. So it's faster, but it's not perfect. And it is the best for your student if you do back that up. We've done 2 more of these lunch and learns. We started with New Voice on January 17th, and then we did one for Grid on January 22nd. So those are recorded. It's just going to take me a minute to download these and edit these and get them back up to YouTube so that you can share them with your teams. But today we're talking about Chat Editor. So our first bit is about what is Chat Editor. Then we'll talk about how to download Chat Editor, how to set up Chat Editor, and how to make visual academic supports. And the idea is to have you out of here by about 12:45. So what is Chat Editor? So Chat Editor is computer software. So TouchChat is a iPad app, right? And we often get asked, like, can we get these symbols out of TouchChat? This is what we're doing this for, right? But it's a software program that you can download and open up so that it looks almost just like TouchChat. You can see here that the buttons look slightly different, like there's a little bit of a border, but the layout is exactly the same. The symbols are exactly the same. It's not perfect, but it's as close as we're going to get to it. This is what we're talking about today, this software. Why do you need Chat Editor? If you want to use the symbols outside of the system, or if you just want to like download it and have a free practice system just to like play around with it, look around to see what's on it, practice adding things and taking things out and that kind of thing, then this is perfect for that. I should let you know though, there's no voice. So this is free software. They want you to pay for the software. So if you want a speaking version, you need to pay for the software. So the one that we download for free today will not have a voice, but you can still do 99% of the things you want to do because your student who needs the voice will have the version with the voice. How do I get Chat Editor? If you are somebody in the North Van School District, then you know that in order to download software onto your work computer, you need to get an admin to come in and basically log you in and install it and that kind of thing, right? And when I say admin, I mean like tech admin, so like somebody from ICT. Now, they have something called the Software Center that not a lot of people know about, but what you can do with all of those things in the Software Center is just download them onto your computer without having somebody come in and log into your computer and that kind of stuff, because that, that always takes a little bit of extra time. So what you do is if you go on the Bottom, okay, you can see my mouse here. If you go on the bottom left of your computer, you should see this like magnifying glass next to the little Windows icon. And so you click that magnifying glass and you search for Software Center. And when you open it up, it should look like this. And then what you do is up here in that window, you just type Chat Editor and you download it and install it from there. You can do that with any of the software that's in there. Last time I checked, there was like Boardmaker in there. There was like PDF editing stuff in there. If you've accidentally deleted like Teams off your computer, you can also get a copy of that. So there's a lot of software in there that you can poke around and look at. You should know, though, I've had to do some troubleshooting with some of my teams just to make sure that they can install it properly. You will need to be on your district laptop. You will need to be on district Wi-Fi. And if it's still not working, try restarting the computer and try again. All of those steps seem to have helped everyone that I've supported to download the software. If it still doesn't work, then contact ICT and let them know exactly what's going on. Trying to download Chat Editor from the Software Center and it's not working. Please help me, right? But it should be really, as long as you follow these steps, it should be fairly painless. If you're not part of the school district, or if you're trying to do this from like a home computer, it's just free software that you can download from this Saltillo website. You can just Google Saltillo Chat Editor download, or just use this QR code. Okay, so how do I set up Chat Editor? I don't know if you've noticed this, but some TouchChat users have a different setup than others, right? So you have like saying TouchChat is like saying Microsoft Word. So the TouchChat is the program, so like a Word program. And then you can have a bunch of different documents on the inside. Depending on how it was set up at the beginning, it may have started from one of a number of templates. So the first thing you need to know is what vocabulary your student is using. A great majority of the students in the district are using WordPower 60 Basic. Now, that doesn't mean that everyone is, but a lot of kids are. One of the things you can do to decide is count how many cells are on the page. I believe WordPower 60 is 10 by 6. So if it's 10 by 6, it's one of the WordPowers. There's two versions, WordPower 60 Basic and WordPower 60. If you look at the prepositions, so on, off, in, out, those kinds of words in the bottom right-hand corner, if it has symbols, like if there's like a little box with an arrow coming out of it for out, that means that you're on Basic. If it's just the sight word, it's not Basic, so it's WordPower. So that's one of the ways that you can tell. What you'll need to do, I'll actually open up the software and show you here. So what you need to do in order to get the right vocabulary open is you need to go into Library. You go into English, Symbol, Sticks, WordPower, and then you click the one that you want, and then you hit Open. And then you should be right in the vocabulary that you want to be in. Now, this was confusing to me at first. If you're accidentally in edit mode, you can tell by this background being kind of red, you won't see that word library. So if you don't see the word library up here, then just check to see if you're in edit mode or hide mode or something like that. If you're somebody that likes written instructions, I'll share the slide deck out as well. But here is the written instructions for that. So this is what you're really here for, right? How do I make visual supports or academic supports for my student using the symbols that are in TouchChat? So there is this tool called Capture. I've circled it in red here in the slide deck. Let me flip over to Chat Editor right now so we can see it live. I'm just going to go up here and I'm going to click Capture. And this little window will pop up. And if you want to move the window, like if I want to press one of these buttons that's behind it, I can actually just drag it over, okay? But as I press buttons, it's going to copy them. So if I wanted to say I like, see how it goes into here? And then you just copy to clipboard. You just press this copy to clipboard, and then you just paste it into whatever you're using. Like if you're using Word or PowerPoint or something like that, you just paste it in there. You can't paste into Boardmaker the same way, but hypothetically, I think you could. The other thing I want to show you here is this Capture Selections checkbox. When I hit the buttons, I like, capture selections is on and it's capturing my selections, right? If I, for example, want to say I like cars, if I now navigate to cars, it's going to capture all of those buttons in between. So I say groups, vehicles, car. Now, that might be good if you're trying to learn about navigation and what buttons I need to press in order to navigate to something. That might be what you want. But say you're in a situation where you're like, I just want the words, I like cars. So that's fine. Let's clear that. Let's go back home. Okay, let's clear that again. We're going to try that again. I like, and now this time I don't want those navigation buttons. So I'm going to unclick capture selections and we'll go groups, vehicles, and see how it didn't copy that. And now I'm going to re-click capture selections and I'm going to say car. Actually, let's make this grammatically correct. Cars, period. So I like cars. And then I can, again, like I said, copy to clipboard and paste it. That is by far the easiest way to do any of these things that we're going to be talking about. Just going to flip back to my slide deck. I don't know if any of you have used the snipping tool. I use it a lot to steal images from all over the place on the internet. We're going to use the magnifying glass on your desktop to search for the snipping tool. Just type it in, snipping tool. This is the icon. And then you should see the snipping tool. It looks like this. So this thing that I'm dragging around here. It'll give you a bunch of different modes. I usually use rectangular snip, but you can also window snip if you want like a whole, like almost like a screenshot of the whole page, or you can full screen snip as well. The full screen snip would capture like the very, very bottom, like that Windows toolbar. But let's go into rectangular snip. And for the purposes of this presentation, I mostly just use this tool. But what I can do is like, if I want this help, I can just go like this and get the help. And see, I've now copied this image and I can copy this image and then paste it into Word or PowerPoint or whatever it is I'm using. I actually use that one a lot. Now, you can use this for a whole bunch of different things. I have a student that I work with that likes to squish things. So we made a book about squishing things. This is a book we made about squish. I put this here because I just wanted to point out that we have the written word squish, and then we have this image here, squish. Sometimes people think that if we symbolate or add the symbols for written words, that it supports sight words. But just so you know, the research is telling us that that does not support sight words. So when you have like, you know, when you have like the school rules and it says, I will keep my hands to myself, and then there's symbols above all that, that's good because the symbols support the comprehension of those classroom rules, right? But having the symbols there means that I don't need to read the text that's underneath. So just so you're aware of the distinction there, this is a book about squish, teaching the concept of squish, but we're not expecting, because of all the information that's on the page, we're not expecting a sight word type situation here. We will talk about that more on another day. But you can do a whole bunch of different things once you are able to get the symbols off of here. So say you're working on being finished with one of your students. So I've made finished buckets for students with the finished symbol on the side. I've also made sorting games so that we can sort of some concepts. So we might have a big bucket and a small bucket with the symbols on the side. I like to put signs on all the doors with sort of around kid height, waist height for adults, and they might say things like class or gym, and then that gives us something to sort of pair with the talker. We might say, oh, we're at the class now, class in the talker. We're pretending that this is my talker. If you're working on some core vocabulary, like most of you should be doing, you could put something like a go symbol on a little door hangy thing and put that on a door. Lots of different ideas for things that you can do. You can also use these symbols in a visual schedule. And the other thing, like Kim was mentioning, you can also project it. Now, depending on whether you have a projector or a smart board, the functionality of this will be different, right? So if you are projecting it, just because it's touch chat doesn't mean that when you touch it, it'll move. If it's just a projector, it's still just going to be a projector. But if you do have a smart board, it should navigate just like it would with a touch screen. So that could be something really cool. And according to Kim, it should talk on a smart board. So that's really cool. That's really quickly what I wanted to let you know about today. Thanks for showing up, everyone.